Hello everyone, welcome to the continuation of our tutorial on web design. So far so good. This is what we have done. We're going to continue from where we stopped. Obviously we stopped at creating HTML fonts. We're going to see how to create a div and what it entails. Then in the same tutorial we're also going to look at because we cannot talk about divs without talking about CSS. We are going to also look at CSS alongside. I'm going to be telling us what CSS means and what it does and how we can use it, how we can implement it. So just dive right in. Before now, we used to work with the Notepad plus text editor. We're not going to be using that. Personally, uh, tired of using that. We're going to, because we want to be fast, right? So we're going to be using Sublime. Okay, so this is how Sublime looks like. If you don't have it, you can just Google it and download it. It's not much. Okay, so if you cannot, just hit me up and I would, you know, walk you through it. I could even make a video if you want. So just let me know. All right, so let's move on. So we're going to look at divs. Yeah, we're look at div. So we're going to continue from where we stopped. Okay, so just make another tag and call it a div tag. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit tab and that's it. That's why this is what I like Sublime. All right, so now the div tag comes with an attribute, two kinds of attribute actually, because what a div is, first of all, is a container, right? It's a container for collecting or okay, two meanings basically. The first meaning is that it is a container and you're putting items, right? Items that you want to move at once. It is easier to move items in the same category in one container than moving them one by one and rearranging them, so you get to just move them together. All right, and it is used for arranging, okay, for arrangements, alignments and all of that. We're going to see that when we introduce CSS shortly. Okay, now another thing it's meant for is it is short for division. So it is used to divide the web page into different frames, different sections, different areas and all that, so in order to properly align it and make it look beautiful. Okay, so basically that's what divs are for. All right, so the first attribute, or the first attribute I want to introduce to you that goes with it is the class attribute. Now because we are going to be using a lot of divs on our work, we don't just want to say div, we need to use a class attribute or an ID attribute. You can either use this or this guy, okay, or the both of them, as the case may be. It depends on what you want to achieve. For the class attribute or the ID, why is it necessary? It is to give the ID a name, an identifier, okay, because there will be a lot of divs, as there will be a lot of there will be lots of paragraphs, as there will be lots of heading 1 or heading 2. These elements are going to be used all over the website, and you don't just want to say heading 1 or heading 2, so you want to be able to identify a particular heading 1 separately from another heading 1, or a particular paragraph separately from another paragraph. That's why they are important, or that's why class or ID is important. So what that means, from what I've said now, is that you can class any other element besides the div, okay, and use that class to actually decorate or style that particular element, and it will not affect any other. We're going to look at it when we come to CSS. All right, so let's now we actually come to CSS now, right? So this div that we have created now, we're going to see what happens on the browser when we refresh. Okay, now nothing obviously happens because it is a div that we have not styled yet, because for you to see a div, you need to actually style it. For you to see how it looks like, for you to see what it is actually doing, you need to style it. Okay, and to style it, that brings us to CSS. All right, what is CSS? CSS means cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets. What does that do? It helps to style this entire HTML. Now your web page, and all that. It makes it beautiful. It's responsible for aesthetics, for the beauty of the page, for effects, animations. JavaScript does that, but CSS also can do it. All right, so let's take a swing at it and see what it is actually good for. Now, when we, let's say we want to style this guy here, give it a class of say say what class. Now the class can be any name. You can identify it by any name or any kind of name you like. Let's just say sweet, right? Anything, please. I don't know what, nothing cool is entering my head. I hope sweet is cool enough to you. All right, so basically that's it. Okay, I think at this point I should say this. Now there are three ways you can style a web page. Okay, the first being inline styling, the second being internal styling, and the third being external styling. All right, now I'm going to give examples of the three ways a web page can be styled, or if three-way styling is done, okay, in this tutorial. But we're going to be working more with two, okay, as we progress, as we move onward in other tutorials. Okay, so let's look at the first. Actually, the first is the inline styling, right? Inline styling is a styling done in the tag. So I want to style this tag. I'm going to do it right inside this open tag. Right inside this open tag. That's where the styling will take place. Okay, if I want to yes, basically right inside this open tag. However, internal styling is done in the head tag. So to style internally, I just have to come into the head tag and open a style tag, and then start styling, basically. So I start styling, whatever kind of style I want to use. External styling is done with the use of an external file, a .css file, a CSS file. So to do that, let's save this. To do that, I'm going to open a new file and save that new file. Okay, in my case, web design. So we are in the folder. Just going to save it as what I'm going to use now. Say web. It can be anything, but it should be related, okay, because it's in one directory. So web.css, I'm going to save that. Okay, now our CSS is ready. Okay, now there are rules actually in styling. Okay, there are rules in styling. The first thing we want to learn about styling is that to style, we need to, there are, okay, should I say components? Components is a good word. There is the element, the class, or the ID. There is the element. The tag name itself can be styled. A class can be styled, and an ID can be styled. These are all forms of, a way to represent a tag or an element. So an element can be represented by its own name, which is the tag name. It can be represented by the class name, and it can be represented by the ID. Yes, so anyhow you want. So that's the first thing. Now the next thing is to style an element, a class, or an ID. There has to be a property of that particular element that you want to style. And when I say property, what I'm talking about is things like color of the text, things like size of the text, things like the font style you want to use, things like what background image you want to use, things like whether you want it to move to the left, move to the right, whether positioning and all that. So there is a lot to styling. Now these are the properties, and there is what we call values. Each property has to have a value. So you want to color the text, what color? Blue, that becomes the value. You want to color the background, what color? Red, that becomes the value. The text size should be 14px, that becomes the value. Okay, so let's get right into it. So these are it works. I would like to show you internal styling first, then move on to inline, then external styling. Then okay, that should do it. All right, so let's say I want to style this element h2, right? I'm styling h2 because it doesn't have a class. I've already given this a class. Doesn't mean I can't style the h1, but what it means is I just want to use the class rather than tag, since it has a class. But it means h2 that doesn't have a class. All right, so h2, so I don't do that. I'm just going to say h2. Okay, then sorry, that was my bad. I thought I was actually pressing something. Okay, shift, yeah, I was going to press this. Okay, yeah, quality braces, enter. Now this is where the styling takes place, right? Okay, now what property do I want to? Okay, let's say I want to change the color. Okay, that's the property. Then a colon, of course, as you can see, a semicolon has appeared at the end. It has to end with a semicolon. All right, so what color do we want? Let's say red. Okay, so we move out here, and the next, let's say we want to say okay, it's big enough, right? Let's say I want to put it in the middle, right? Say text align center. Yep, so let's just do that and see. Save. Then we'll go to our browser, refresh, and see what happens. Okay, you see our h2 has taken up the color red, and it has moved to the middle of our screen. Yeah, so the next thing we want to look at is how to style a class. So let's see that, how to style a class. Okay, so we move out of h2 styling and color up the class, and the class name is suite, right? So to style the class, use a dot, the style name suite. Okay, as usual, open and close query braces, then we do this and press enter to do that. Then we start to style. Let's say we do the same thing, say color. This time around, let our color be blue. Okay, and we also do text align center. Okay, make sure your spelling is American, that's very important. So we go to our browser and we refresh, and that's it, it's done. Okay, so let's try and change the font family of this guy. Font family is the same thing as fonts, normally the fonts that you want it to, of course, to be. Font family should be, let's say, Arial. I hope I'm correct spelling of Arial. Sometimes you have to confirm the spelling to be sure, okay, I'm correct. So that actually works. Okay, so this is it, right? Yeah, this is it. Okay, so that's styling, that's internal styling, and there is no difference in the format. Okay, there's no difference in the way the format. Okay, there's no difference. I'm going to show you guys how ID is styled. Let's just chill for now and look at internal styling. So if I wanted to style this stuff, this p tag internally, it happens in the open tag. So space style as an attribute, and then it will start to style. So we say let the color of the text be what color should we give this now? Say green. Now there are color codes Okay, we're not going to get into that now, maybe later we will. Okay, out. You just go on Google and type HTML color codes and you'll get a lot of responses and a lot of color codes to use. All right, but for now let's just do what we have. Color green, let's say font size should be bigger. Okay, sorry, font size, okay, it doesn't do that, so let's see, font size should be say 40 px is big enough. Okay, so I save and we go and take a look at what we've done. Okay, so we see this is the result of what we just did. Okay, so I think right now there's one important thing for us to know. If I style this class or this guy, if I give it an inline styling contrary to this internal styling, okay, what will happen? Let's find out. All right, so let's say let's do this h2 style. See, I change the color. I decide to say, oh, okay, the h2 is red. I want it now to be yellow. Okay, let's see what happens. It changes to yellow automatically. Changes to yellow. But I didn't change this guy to yellow. It's still red. I didn't take it out. The red is here, the yellow is here, but yet he preferred the yellow. Why? Because the inline styling takes preeminence over any styling. Why? Because it is directly within the open tag, so it sees as soon as it is rendering the element itself, before it goes to find whether it has a styling, it already renders the styling of the styling that comes with the tag before any other one, and that's one it decides to take. So basically that's why. I think that's why. Maybe other people may have their reasons. All right, so that's that. Lastly, we're going to look at external styling. Pretty much the same thing with internal styling. Same thing basically. It's just that internal styling is done in the HTML file, which makes the whole thing really messed up. Now just think about it. You're doing your styling in the HTML file. You probably have 1,000 lines of CSS codes and another 1,000 lines of, how that would be like scrolling up and down your page and trying to find what code didn't work and how to debug your code. It's really stressful, right? So it's just best to have an external file that has CSS on it and another file that has HTML on it, and then you just toggle both files. It's easy to find what you're looking for that way. So let's assume we want to style the body curly braces, enter. You just want to give it, say, background color, let's say gray. The color code for gray should be CCC, I guess. Let's see if I'm right. Save. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, let's say cancel. All right, so save. We go. Let's see. Oh no, okay. Yeah, it's not working because I haven't done one thing. All right, so when you create an external CSS, you link it up with the HTML, and how you do that is within the head tag. So I'll come here and just type link, enter, and this will happen. So this is what is important for me. These things are important. Yeah, you probably need to do them all the time, but this is the most important part. If this part is not there, it doesn't work. So what you put here is simply the name of your CSS file, which is, in our case, is web.css. So I save now, and our code should work now. Yeah, it's working. So this is it, people. So we have understood the three types of CSS. We've learned three types of CSS. I hope you understand it. Okay, so let's look at the div now before we end this tutorial. I've taken so much time already, but it's worth it. Now we say this div should have a class of fine. I'm just bringing out words. I don't know what I'm doing. Class of fine. All right, so we're gonna save. Now let's go to external styling and style fine. Okay, so say dot find because it is a class, right? Okay, and then we say let dot find have, first one do is to give it height. Okay, so like I said, it's a container, right? So we just say, oh, my height wasn't even correct. So height, let's say height of 200 px. Then we want to give it width of say another 200 px. Okay, make it a square or something. Then of course give the background color of say red. So it always comes to mind. Okay, so basically that's it. So this should do the trick. Okay, so we save and then we scroll down and then this is our div. Okay, and then we can put stuff in this div. Okay, so we could actually put this entire form in a div. Let's see how that works. So what we do first is to go and check out the form, wrap the form in a div, say div, then probably give it a class, not probably, definitely give it a class. Give it a class of say our form. Now when you're classing, you don't want to have space right in between. You either use an hyphen or an underscore, anyone would work. So I'll close the div just under form. That's 1031. Okay, so basically that's that about that. So I'll just probably move this guy a bit backwards like this. Thank you. So because this is under this and all that. So I save, and now I want to go and style our form dot our form, right? So that's what we do. Okay, so now okay, let's just say, let's just give it background color and see what happens without height or width. So say, let's just say blue, just see what happens. So yeah, basically, so it wraps it up, wraps it, and then you see it goes or without a proper height, and it takes the height of the form by default but takes the entire width of the screen. Okay, so if we want it to be less than that, we could just give it height, okay, of sorry, I say height, width of say 300 px. That should do the trick. Okay, it's okay, it's fine. Okay, so you see, that's it. So basically this brings us to the end of our tutorial. Thank you for your time. I hope you understand. Should you don't, you can actually reach me. How would you reach me now? Reach me via email, reach me via WhatsApp, call me, whatever. Just reach me via the description, comments, whatever. Just reach me. Thank you very much for your time. See you in the next